Today we have the 39-inch S.Z.A or Super Zoom Action from Hacker Model USA. If you guys watch the build video on this, we just got this thing together and it looks freaking awesome. This is one beefy profile foamy with some thick EPP foam on it, and I think this thing is going to be absolutely incredible out at our local park here, because this is considered a park flyer. This is some really dense, thick EPP foam. It's going to be super durable. Hopefully we even have our own airfoil on the wing, which is something you don't get a ton of on profile foamy. So I'm really excited to see how this thing flies. We did go pretty much stock configuration outside of, we did go with the extended control arms for the servos. So we have a ton of throw on this thing. It's going to be extremely 3D capable. And today we're going to be running it on an 850 milliamp 3S battery. Now, we do have a bit of wind out here today. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it goes. November in Wisconsin, you kind of roll with the punches because it gets dark out at 3 p.m. and you got to fly when there's daylight. And unfortunately, when there's daylight, there tends to be wind. So we're gonna go ahead and get some first flights on this thing today and try it out, see what it's all about. If you guys are at all interested in the Super Zoom Action or S.Z.A from Hacker Model USA, I'll make sure to drop a link down in the description below. Enough yapping, let's get this thing powered up. Let's take it for a flight. We're gonna go ahead and hand launch this thing. Now, this does actually have some really nice landing gear on it, carbon fiber gear with some like nice wheels and stuff. Just with the length of the grass out here, I don't even want to attempt it. So we're just gonna go ahead and hand launch it, see what this thing's made of. Ton of authority on the controls, as you can expect. Wind's kicking it around a little bit. Let's try to get a wrangle on her, see if it needs any sort of trim. There's no stabilization in this. We are running just the standard receiver that comes with the power pack that you can get for this, which I gotta say, the power pack that's available for these planes is awesome. It's exactly what you need. Definitely enough power behind this thing, running on a 3S setup. I mean, this thing is insanely maneuverable. Battling the wind, honestly, pretty decent. Super maneuverable. Exactly what you'd expect out of a 3D profile foamy. Now, I would say wind-wise, we're anywhere between 5 to 8 mile an hour with some gust. For this type of flying right here, I think it's actually handling it really freaking well. You can see the deflection on the control surfaces there, especially with the rudder and the elevator. Putting in work, keeping this thing stable. Honestly, this thing, when you do get some speed behind it, flies super well, which is always good because, you know, means that we built it straight. Let's go ahead and keep it in front of us. Wind is coming right at us, so it's pushing it back towards us any chances that it gets. So this model, the Super Zoom Action, is a revised model from the Hacker Model lineup. This used to be a lot older of a design. They revamped it, brought it back with a bit more modern design to it. Labeled it the Super Zoom Action. Gave it a little more 3D capabilities, and I think it looks awesome. I mean, it fits in with all of your other like profile foamies, like your Edges, your Extras, your MXSs, things like that. But it adds just a bit of a different flair to it. And of course the color scheme on this thing, very unique, very cool. And capable of some really fun 3D aerobatics, as you can tell. Just playing with the wind now. We're gonna have wind, you might as well play with it. But yeah, this thing is an absolute blast. The larger size on here, the actual airfoil of the wing, makes it fly really stable, if you can tell, besides the wind pushing it around. But it feels really solid. It's not having any like weird tendencies of like, you know, wanting to like balloon or like any weird roll axis tendencies or anything like that. I mean, this thing can just sit here and roll forever. This feels really good. It's super maneuverable. I mean, it can do anything that I want. I'm running about 15% expo on the ailerons, about 10% expo on the elevator, just to kind of, you know, give her a little bit of smoothness to it, because we do have such a large amount of deflection on the control surfaces. And I think that is pretty good. I might put a little more on the elevator just because it is super touchy, but I think where we have it at is pretty decent. Flat spins are awesome, the inverted flat spins. See if we can do a little bit of a pop top or something there. A little iteration of it, I guess. Again, just fighting a lot of wind here, but it's honestly handling it as best as it can. We get a few calm spells here. Inverted flight is absolutely awesome. It is a symmetrical airfoil on there, so you're gonna get, you know, great performance both upside down and right side up. This thing is a freaking blast, man. This flies awesome. Typically, you know, profile foamies, you're not gonna be able to fly them outside a ton. At least when I started growing up, like profile foamies, like, you know, they were meant for a lot of indoor flying specifically. This one, because it is just a bit beefier, we have some really thick EPP foam in there, or that it's made out of. We got the actual airfoil on it. This thing feels incredible outdoors. And this is gonna be a great one to even just like bring out to the field, bring out to the park here, and just have a blast with. This thing is freaking awesome. Doing some knife edges. The good news about the EPP too, and you know, it's made in flight and I'm just going absolutely crazy with it. Let's say we did smack this thing into the ground, it's gonna hold up really well. And if for some reason it did crack or break, you can just foam tack it back together. This stuff is incredibly durable. I've seen people with this plane specifically, or at least some other models from the Hacker model lineup, that like it might be 90% glue at some point, but it still flies just as good. I think they fly better once you bang them up and glue them up a little bit. The power on this, I've really only been flying this at maybe like half throttle this whole time, really just kind of messing around with it. But the power that this thing has, I mean, it can book, man. This might be the fastest foamy that I've ever flown, like profile foamy wise. This thing scoots. I think originally, I could be wrong on this, but from my research, it looked like the Super Zoom, it used to be like the S.Z.A or Super Zoom Racer. It was meant for more, you know, sport speed flying. With the new version of it here, more dedicated to 3D aerobatics. But it's got that heritage in it where it just wants to rip, because look at this thing. The roll rate on it is nuts. Definitely more than enough power on the 3S setup for this, and it's a ton of fun. Now, of course, you could probably change around the propeller size and pitch to your liking, but again, this is the stock power setup that it was available for this plane, and I think it does a great job. I'm having too much fun with this. I don't even know. I set a timer for I think 3 or 5 minutes. We only got an 850 size. They recommend about 1,000 to I think 1,100 or 1,200 milliamp battery. The 850s are what I run on my combat plane, so I actually have a ton of them, which was really nice to be able to use on this. But I think it, you know, is doing pretty well. I was a little worried about the CG, but it balanced out super well. We did put it further back towards the center of gravity, of course, so we want to, you know, be able to hover and things like that. But I mean, I think it's doing a great job. This thing is an absolute blast. I'm having too much fun. I don't want to land it. I might just run it till the battery goes out. No, don't do that. Don't do that. A couple more passes here. Let's give it a couple more speed runs here. And turn on an absolute dime. Now the real question is, can we land this thing? Or should we just try to catch it? Let's turn it towards into the wind, give it the best shot that we can. We're just kind of dump it like that. That'll work. That'll do the job. So there you have it, the 39-inch S.Z.A Super Zoom Action from Hacker Model USA. Guys, this thing is a freaking ball. Like, I want to keep flying it. I got another battery pack. We're going to keep flying this thing because it's so much freaking fun. This thing honestly blew me away. I didn't know what to expect going into it. It's a bit different of a style airplane. It's my first profile foamy of this kind of setup with, you know, the airfoil and how thick it is, just meant for a little more like outdoors flying. I'm blown away. This thing flew incredible. It was a ton of fun. It literally did anything that I wanted it to. I think that, you know, this plane, I need to up my skills a little bit just to keep up with it, because it can just do everything. I went through my whole like repertoire of maneuvers and I was running out of stuff. If you guys want to check this out for yourself, you can check it out at hackermodelusa.com, or I'll put a link down in the description below. Thank you so much, you guys, for sending this one out for me to test out. They said I would really like it. I went into it with an open mind, see what it was all about, and I see what they're talking about. I totally get it. They sent me the plane, but I told them I'm going to give them my honest review on it, and this is my complete honest review on it. It's a freaking ton of fun to fly. So if you're looking for next one to check out, you know where to go. I'm Alex from Hangar 14 RC. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you want to check this out, link in the description. We're gonna go throw another battery pack in this because I want to keep flying it. We'll see you later. Got it.